My name is Nicholas Garnett, and I'm from Cooper City. When I was a kid, I had a Cocker Spaniel that we named Joy. Actually, we misnamed her Joy, because when Joy had puppies, she ate them all. I'd seen her around, sunning herself out by the pond, strolling down the sidewalk. She was cute, and she knew it. I could tell. The way she pretended not to notice all that attention from the boys, the way she wiggled those ass feathers. One morning, I woke to find her and the dozen off-white eggs she'd laid under a hedge right outside the front door. My fiancée, Denise, her two boys, and I had recently moved into the house. We took it as a good omen. The boys would experience the miracle of Mother Nature. We named her Mama Duck. At the time, I was teaching a writing class at my house. One of my students knew about Muscovy ducks. She said, "They're terrible mothers." That seemed like a cheap shot. Mama Duck had created a cozy nest of feathers. She'd arranged the eggs. She even had a support system, a couple of male ducks who posted themselves out by the driveway like bouncers. Denise gave Mama Duck food and water. She was the only one who could do it without getting pecked. Over the next few weeks, Denise and Mama Duck developed a motherly bond. One Saturday morning, Mama Duck stood in our walkway, surrounded by a yellow cloud of chicks. We figured our work was done. Mother Nature would tell Mama Duck what to do. But if Mother Nature was telling, Mama Duck wasn't listening. She wandered around the neighborhood, followed by a ragged line of chirping chicks. When Denise tried to help out with some food, Mama Duck turned on her. 3 days after the chicks hatched, Mama Duck came back to our house, frantic and alone. I don't know who was more distraught, Mama Duck or Denise. While Denise and the boys combed the neighborhood, Mama Duck spun around in circles, chirping like R2-D2. By the next day, we all had to face the facts. So much for the miracle of Mother Nature. At dinner, I had to explain to a 6- and a 9-year-old the concept of infant mortality. Denise took the loss personally. No mother, she said, should go through what Mama Duck went through. She said, I let her down. A few weeks later, Mama Duck was back. She changed. She was less put together. Kind of trashy. And she was hanging out with a new crowd. The males stared me down. They hogged the sidewalk. They wiggled their necks like bobbleheads in the back of a '64 lowrider. One afternoon, Denise's son, Dylan, screamed for me to come outside. Right there in our front yard, a young punk-ass duck had pinned Mama Duck beneath him. He pressed down on her wings with his feet and bit her neck. She didn't seem to mind. Mama Duck liked it rough. Dylan said, "Why is he beating her up like that?" "Thanks a lot, Mama Duck." What was I supposed to tell this kid now? Sweet Mama Duck had gone slutty? Our duck had turned into a DILF? Before I could answer, Dylan ran over and chased off the mail. He walked back to me, shaking his head. He said, "Man, Mama Duck sure has some bad taste in men." When she laid her second batch of eggs under our hedge, Denise was excited. "This time," she swore, "when those eggs hatch, I'll be there for Mama Duck." I had a bad feeling. Sure enough, her eggs had barely hit the ground before Mama Duck hit the streets. The nest sat there all day, unattended. The next day, I caught Mama Duck coming up the driveway, lugging her bedraggled ass from back from who knows where. I stood over with my hands on my hips. I said, "Where have you been?" She wouldn't even look at me. For the next few weeks, I stood in front of that neglected nest, thinking how vulnerable those eggs looked. I wasn't alone. Every time I opened the front door, a big green lizard scuttled out from under the hedge. Just a few days before they were due to hatch, we found the nest raided, shards of shell scattered all over the place. There was a second round of frantic chirping and self-recrimination. As far as I was concerned, that duck didn't deserve to be called Mama. I renamed her Mother Ducker. Mother Ducker left again and stayed gone for a long time, long enough for us to forget about her. When we discovered the third batch of eggs under the hedge, even Denise groaned. She said, "Not again." I thought, no, not again. This time, I had my own plan. While Miss Wing was out carousing, I'd sneak over to the nest and relocate those eggs. I'd teach that Mother Ducker a lesson. I checked the nest often. A day passed, then 3, then a week. She stayed put. Denise said, "She's reformed. She's on the wagon." I didn't buy it. The only wagon Mother Ducker was on was the kind you fell off of. It was just a matter of time. Every morning before she went to work, Denise set water and food by the nest. I thought, go ahead and reward bad behavior. Go ahead, set yourself up for another letdown. Every day I checked under the hedge, expecting her to be gone. She lost weight. Her feathers turned gray and grimy, but she guarded those eggs. One afternoon, I stood watching her. She sure wasn't the cute young thing anymore. I said, "You look like hell." She just sat there looking grim. I said, "Where are all your little fair-weather ducks now, huh?" I noticed her water bowl was knocked over. It was a broiling hot day. I refilled it and slipped it back under the hedge. I said, "Go ahead and peck me." But she didn't. When she was done drinking, she did something she had never done before. She looked up at me. Her food bowl was empty too. I refilled it. I said, "You really need to start taking better care of yourself." Last week, Mama Duck's eggs finally hatched. She and the hatchling spent the first couple of days hunkered down in the nest where it was safe. But I knew that soon they'd have to venture out into the world. A couple of days ago, I came out the front door and saw the whole clan waddling down our driveway. I know the odds are still stacked against those 6 little chicks. But this time, I have a good feeling. I learned something about Mother Nature. It's not her job to step in. It's her job to make us step up.